If you are over 50 and you have started a GLP-1 like Mounjaro, you might be watching the weight drop and thinking everything is going well. But at the same time, you may already be losing your strength, your stability, and your long-term health before you even realize it's happening. Because after the age of 50, your body is less able to cope with rapid changes like fast weight loss, and that is where things could start to go wrong. I am Dr. Almeri, consultant weight loss surgeon and obesity specialist. In this video, I will show you the 2 hidden risks that could affect your muscle and your bone health, and more importantly, how to protect your body from them, so you can stay on the treatment, get the results you want, without creating problems that are much harder to reverse later. Let's dive in. Let's start with muscle, because this is where things can quietly go wrong. Here is the key fact. When people lose weight on GLP-1 medications, a significant proportion of that weight comes from lean tissue, not just fat, but muscle. Major trials, including the STEP 1 trial and the SURMOUNT 1 trial, showed that around 30% of the weight you lose comes from lean mass. That is not just fat, that is muscle, and most people don't expect that. You may have seen this. Someone on GLP-1 looks thinner, but less steady, more vulnerable. So in your mind, they look better, but functionally, they are weaker. And this is what you need to avoid. So why does this happen? When your biology is in a calorie deficit, it needs energy. So it looks for a fuel. And it doesn't just use fat, it uses muscle too. People think if the scale is dropping, everything is working right. Well, it's not. Because after the age of 50, you are already losing muscle every year, gradually. And GLP-1 can accelerate that loss. And that is where people get caught out, because this kind of loss is much harder to recover from. To put that into perspective, you could lose the equivalent of 20 years of age-related muscle loss in just a few months. Now you might be thinking, why does this actually matter to me? It does, because muscle is what keeps you moving. It keeps you steady. It prevents falls. It keeps you independent, and it goes further than that. Lower muscle mass is linked to worse long-term outcomes, including a shorter life expectancy. So this is not about looking strong, it's about staying capable. Because as you lose weight, you don't just want a lighter body. You want a body that still works, that carries you through the years ahead, the ones that you thought you will finally enjoy. Now the weight is coming off. This is about staying independent, avoiding falls, and staying in control of your body as you age. So how do you stop this happening without giving up the weight loss? Well, you need to follow the muscle preservation system. This is an evidence-based framework built on 2 foundations. The first foundation is resistant training. Weights, resistant bands, body weight exercises, at least 2 sessions a week. And this is not just about doing the exercise, it's about progressing it. So over time, you need to make it a little bit harder, a little bit more weight, more resistance, or more repetitions. That sends a message to your body: do not break this muscle down, preserve it, strengthen it. I would say this clearly: if you are over 50, do not start GLP-1 without a plan for resistance training. This is non-negotiable. At home, in the gym, or with a local group, whatever fits your lifestyle. But do not delay it. Plan it, start it. Now, exercise alone is not enough, because muscle needs raw material to build and repair. And that raw material is protein. And this is the second foundation of your muscle preservation system. Think of protein first when planning your meals. Eggs, fish, chicken, lean meat, Greek yogurt, legumes. But do not miss this point. If protein drops, muscle goes with it. Now that you've got the muscle right, do not overlook the next risk, because this one stays hidden until the damage is already done. It is your bones. So let's go through it next. Now let's talk about bones, because this is a risk that's even easier to miss and often discovered too late. There is emerging evidence suggesting that GLP-1 use, particularly in older adults, may be associated with higher risk of osteoporosis. That means reduced bone density. And this is the condition that increases the risk of fractures, particularly hip fractures and spine fractures, which are sadly common in older adults and can have a major impact on mobility and quality of life. During rapid weight loss, if bone is not supported, bone strength declines. This is particularly important in women after menopause because they are already at higher risk of osteoporosis and fractures. And this is where it becomes more concerning because osteoporosis is often silent. You don't feel it, you don't see it. There are no clear early warning signs. And for many people, the first time they find out is after a fracture. A simple fall that should have been nothing becomes a fracture that changes everything. And when you look back, the bone thinning was already there, but it was silent. So this is not a condition to react to. This is something you need to anticipate and plan for. So how do you protect your bones while losing weight? You need a clear strategy. Think of this as your bone protection strategy, and it has 3 key pillars. Now, the first pillar is loading. We have already covered this. The same resistance training that protects your muscle also protects your bone because your bone responds to load. So when you train, you're not just preserving muscles, you are protecting the entire musculoskeletal system, including your bones. The second pillar is nutrition, and this is where things quietly go wrong. Your bones need the right nutrients: calcium, vitamin D, and adequate protein. Now here is the key point. If you live in the UK or similar regions, for much of the year you are not getting enough sunlight, which means you are not producing enough vitamin D. And without vitamin D, you cannot absorb calcium properly or use it in the bones to keep them strong. So even if your diet looks reasonable, your bones are not being protected. This is why a simple daily vitamin D supplement is not optional. For many people, it's a basic maintenance. Now, the third pillar is awareness and monitoring. Remember, osteoporosis is a silent condition, so awareness is critical, and this is where monitoring matters. If you are in a higher risk group, particularly over the age of 50 or postmenopausal, and especially if you're losing a lot of weight on GLP-1 without actively protecting your muscles and your bone, then your risk quietly increases. And this is exactly when it becomes important to discuss this with your doctor. You need to consider a baseline assessment with a DEXA scan. A DEXA scan is the best investigation to assess your bone density. Once you have the scan, you will know what your baseline is, and then you can track it and react early if needed. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. GLP-1 is powerful, but after the age of 50, your physiological reserve is not the same as it once was, which means the effects of rapid weight loss, the swings in your system, can have much bigger impact on your body. And this is the balance you need to get right, because you don't want to win on the scale and lose in your body. And that's why you need to get the systems we discussed right. Now, if you found this helpful, the next step is to see the full picture, because what we covered here is just part of a much wider system. I have put together a complete video covering all GLP-1 side effects and how to manage each one of them properly. You can watch this next. I have linked it up here. Thank you for being part of the conversation. See you in the next video.